to what is normally our Friday live coaching call, but today I am doing it on Wednesday because I'm leaving town tomorrow for Philadelphia. My daughter has a travel volleyball tournament there, so I'm super excited to be going to that. I am excited that all of you are here as well. Where did my chat go? Hold on. Let me pull up my chat. I appreciate everybody here being able to take the time to join me today. I'm going to bring this over here. Dorn, what's up? Shane, Kat, Lars, welcome everybody. Excited to have you here. We got a great live coaching call lined up for you today. Today I'm going to be talking about why AI won't fix bad marketing and how to use data and AI to improve your email campaigns. Now, you can also use this to improve other parts of your marketing as well, but I'm going to use email as an example for a couple of reasons. So, number one, if you are watching this video right now on YouTube, I have put together a special cheat sheet just for today's training. And if you want to get this cheat sheet with all the info, scripts, prompts, everything from today's training, all you have to do is like, subscribe, drop a comment below, and I will shoot you a link to my free Smart AI Launch Lab training where I will show you how to get your AI prospecting system set up in 72 hours. Pardon me. As a bonus, you'll get this cheat sheet and a bunch of others. You'll actually find the cheat sheet on the thank you page. And let me see, where is my thank you page? I don't see it in my list anymore. Well, when you get to the thank you page, I think it's item number 3 is download cheat sheets. And you will see that there. You can get this cheat sheet and a bunch of others. And what really prompted this training was a comment I saw in a group, not in my Smart AI Operators group, which is a private group, but it's free to join. If you're not a member, you can join just by going to smartdirectory.ai/group. You can see we've got over 2,400 members in here. This is an awesome group. There's lots of great feedback. It's a great place to ask questions, get answered, all that kind of stuff. We've also got this classroom section where I have 3 courses that you get absolutely for free for being inside the school group. You get my AI Directory Edge course where I show you how to prospect using a local community directory site. You get our market domination section. So I have a software called Smart Directory AI. This is a series of trainings on different strategies and things to use with Smart Directory AI. And then you get my Highlevel in a Hurry course, which is a course I put together that teaches you Highlevel in 3 minutes or less. So this is actually designed so that when you need to figure out how to do something in Highlevel, you just go in and you select what you want. Like you want to set up multi-channel communication. You select this and the video is less than 3 minutes. Almost all of them are less than 3 minutes. It'll show you how to do the high-level stuff. So that's all free when you join the Smart AI Operators School Group. So just go to smartdirectory.ai/group. You can join. Also, you'll see in the pinned post at the top here, there's a pinned post for the coaching call. You can also find the link to download the cheat sheet in this pinned post right here as well as every weekly call. So we're going to be doing these calls on Wednesday for the next few weeks because I've got travel with my daughter's volleyball. But be in the group, like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss them. All the replays are always available on the YouTube channel. There's a playlist, Smart AI Operators coaching calls. You can check it out there. Now, what really prompted today's training was a couple of things. Number one, I saw someone post in another group. It was a thing like, who can give me I want the perfect AI prompt that guarantees great voice AI agents every single time. And when I saw that prompt, I was like, oh my God, this prompt, that question, I want the perfect prompt, just says it all, right? Because look, there is no perfect prompt. It does not exist. Like AI in its current state cannot create something. Well, the chances that it's going to create something for you from a prompt that works right out of the gate are very, very slim. And that's really not how business works anyway. Like, when have you ever tried something? If you have an established business, when have you ever launched an initiative or rolled something out? And even though you think you've planned it all out, it never goes quite according to plan. You always have to make adjustments based on the results you're getting. I know in almost every business or thing I have ever done, that has been the case. It has like I have always gotten further by taking action too soon and then adjusting based on the results than I have by sitting around and trying to figure it all out and make sure it's going to go perfect before I launch. Does that make sense to everybody? I see there's a ton of people on this call. Let me know in the chat that you get that, because I see people all of the time trying to figure it all out before they launch. Like, they do not feel comfortable launching if they haven't thought of every objection, every question, and all that. And look, there is a place for that. Yes, we want to do that. We do want to think about those things. But man, like, I have spent a lot of times coming up with answers to objections that clients never had. That's just time wasted, right? Much better to launch, even though you don't know what the objections are going to be, then get that feedback, get the objections, and then address them as you're moving forward, right? So, yeah, perfect is the enemy of done. Yes, I mean, I can't stress this enough. Like, you will get so much further by doing things crappy and just making them better as you go along than you will trying to be really good at it when you get right out of the gate. And the reality is, most of us, including me, are not very good at it right out of the gate. So I saw that post and I just thought, man, this poor person, like, they're looking for the magic pill, right? They're looking for the magic answer. I just want to, look, if I just had the right prompt, I would never have to work again. The money would just come rolling in. I wouldn't have to think about anything. Oh, sweet naivety, right? I wish it were only that easy. Yes, I love AI. I use it every day. I think AI is great, but I think it's very important that we understand, like, what it is actually capable of, what it can do, and how we use it. So, I'm seeing more and more posts from people out in the wild about something that I've been talking about since the middle of last year, which is like, AI can only do so much. Like, it cannot think for you. It cannot think for you. I know it appears to be intelligent, but it is not. It is not intelligent. The more I learn about how the large language models work and what's behind them, the more I realize that it's just an illusion. It appears that it knows a lot. It appears to be thinking, but it's not. It is not actually thinking. It's just regurgitating information to you in a way that it wants you to be happy with, right? And when you look at a lot of what's going on with like AI agents and things like that, a lot of the tech that makes AI agents works is old tech, and AI is just one little component of it when you start to dig in. But I digress. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole. Dorn and I could probably talk about this for hours, right, Dorn? But anyway, to say that brought all this up of like, and then I saw somebody make a post in the Facebook group that was like, hey, I've been sending out emails and I've sent out, I can't remember what they said, but they were like, I've been sending out emails and I'm not getting any results. Please help me. So I want to talk about that statement as well, because I have an issue with the way that question is phrased, right? When you go into this amazing school group and you make a post like that says something like, been prospecting, not getting much results, what can I do to make it better? Like, that question is way too vague. And you have given, especially me, no information that I can actually look at to help you make informed decisions. And so that's what today's training is all about. I'm going to show you how to look at the data and make informed decisions on about what you should change, what you should be testing, and all those things. Because you shouldn't just be guessing, right? But to do what I'm going to show you today, you have to look at your numbers. So much better is if you post in the group, I sent out 250 emails. Here's my open rate. Here's how many people clicked links. Here's my spam. Here's how many weren't delivered. Here's how many replies I got, right? Like once I see those numbers, I can start to digest where the issue is. And after today's training, when you see those numbers, you will be able to digest where the holes are and what needs to be done. So let's dive in. So again, before I dive into the email templates, the prompts, anything inside of Smart Directory AI, which I'm going to be using as an example, the biggest thing I see people get wrong is they think that AI is going to fix their marketing. Look, AI can help you analyze, it can give you suggestions, but it doesn't really know how to fix bad marketing. Like you have to really look at what it gives you and compare that to your experience and I think that'll work, I don't think that'll work. More importantly, you have to just roll it out and see the data and then adjust accordingly. Don't just think that AI is going to roll out this thing that's going to work like gangbusters. There's going to be some time and effort spent in optimizing it and doing that. So I know right now this belief is floating around that you can just find the right prompt, the right workflow, all that stuff, the perfect automation. Suddenly just everything works, right? Your emails get replies, your campaigns convert, clients start showing up. But that's just not how it works in the real world. Look, AI can help you write faster. It can help you generate ideas. It can help you test variations. It can help you analyze, as I'm going to show you today. But it cannot magically produce a perfect marketing campaign the first time you run it. So that idea, pure AI hype, wishful thinking, as I call it. But we live in reality here in the smart AI operators land. And so we're going to really look at what it takes to make this stuff work. So a successful campaign, right, is really built by something completely unsexy and much simpler. Any campaign that you see where someone is like, they just crushed it, I guarantee you it went through these 4 steps. They came up with an idea, they developed the idea, they sent out emails, they looked at their numbers, they saw what was working and what wasn't, and then they just improved the weak parts that they saw. So big things there. First, they took action, then they improve as the process goes. And they just do that over and over again. That process is what I call the AI marketing feedback loop. So the AI marketing feedback loop is, think of every little email campaign that you send out or every list of leads that you add into a Smart Directory AI workflow. Like every list that you run through the free listing outreach workflow. Think of it as a small experiment. You are not trying to be perfect the first time. Like you're going to think you have it set up, you're going to run some leads through, and you need to look at what the results are, no matter how many leads you run through. So whether you're running 500 leads through or 50 leads through, and I'll talk about what I recommend a little bit later in the video, you should never run leads through and then just keep running leads through without making any adjustments. You should always pick a batch, drop them in, see what the hell happens, and then make adjustments if needed before you put the next batch in. Okay? Everybody with me on that? I hope so. I know it's not sexy. I know it's not the instant magic button fix. It's not just some GPT that will magically make you rich. We don't believe in that kind of stuff around here, right? That's fairy dust. That's fairy dust. So here is the typical loop. You send, you measure, you diagnose, you improve, you repeat. That simple process is what I'm going to talk about today. And you typically want to do this I recommend smaller batch emails. So another thing that kind of frustrates me, I'm getting a lot of frustrating things off my chest today. Posts, comments, awesome. Another thing that kind of frustrates me is when someone reaches out for help or they'll say something like, Tom, I've sent 1,000 emails through the free listing outreach workflow, and I've gotten 0 responses. This thing doesn't work. Well, first of all, when you didn't get any responses from the first 100, why the hell did you keep sending 900 more? Right? Like, that is the wrong time to diagnose. You don't wait until you've sent 1,000 and then be like, oh my God, something's wrong. Like, I recommend you do it in small batches. I call it the 100 email rule. I'll talk about this a little bit later. But I recommend sending them through in batches of 100 because that gives you enough to actually get some traction. But if you find that 100 isn't enough, do 200. You just want to see what's going on when you run people through. Are they opening? Are they clicking? Are they responding? If you put 100 emails through your outreach and no one responds, that does not mean it doesn't work. There's several things that could be off and wrong, and I'm going to talk about all those in a minute. But like, you shouldn't just keep pumping leads through there thinking that something magically is going to start working. It doesn't go like that. When you send the first 100 through and you get some good results, then you go, aha, now I can scale this thing and really crush it. So drop 100 in, a couple hundred at a time, measure, do exactly what I'm going to talk about here, diagnose, improve. And then when you're feeling like really good about it, you're like, man, I drop 100 leads in here, I get 50% replies, like whatever it is, then you know your numbers are good enough. Then you just start pumping leads in as crazy as possible. Does that make sense to everyone? I don't think, yeah, hey, I like that. You know what grinds my gears? I love it, Frank. Frank the Tank in the house. A new section, what grinds Tom's gears? But yeah, like, I think, you want to do that, okay? And everything that I've done that has been successful has started that way, starting off smaller, figuring it out, making improvements, and then not going crazy until everything is worked out, right? And you can see that in action even in Smart Directory AI. Right? Like, we haven't really run any paid advertising for Smart Directory AI because I'm still kind of refining some of the onboarding and the setup processes and some things with the software. And I don't really want to open up the floodgates until we have some of those things lined up, but it's coming pretty soon, right? So I do this in almost everything that I do, not just emails. So how can we see the numbers in our emails? So I just have one of our demo accounts here for Smart Directory AI. I don't even think this has any emails that have gone through it, but I just want to show you where you can see your numbers for your emails. So if you go into the sub account where your directory site lives, you go into automations, Smart Directory AI workflows, outreach workflows, and then you can go into the free listing outreach workflow. Let's say that's the one. And then you want to see like, well, what happened with email, the warm-up email? So you can just click on this and this little side panel opens up. And then you see there's edit action, but there's another tab over here called statistics. If you just click on that, then it will show you how many emails were sent, how many were delivered, how many were opened, how many clicks, how many replied. So you can do this on an email by email basis and see what each email is doing. Now, these stats are going to be over time. Like, you're going to drop your first 100 leads in here, and you're going to get stats. And then when you drop your second 100 leads in, it's going to come in these stats too. So you just got to remember that. Like, it's not for each batch you put through. It's going to be total of what's come, total contacts that have gotten this email or what's going to be here, right? And if you want to look at like details, you can click on view details and it will pull up and show you a little engagement summary, right? Everything that's going on. And then your click performance, it can even show you tags, all that kind of stuff. So this is a great place where you can go and check and see what is actually going on with your emails, right? And you can scroll down, you see there's even more data down here, unsubscribed, rejected, complained, all that stuff. So you can look on an email by email basis and see what's going on, right? Click on this, everyone has it, statistics, and you can dive a little deeper if you want. Now, that is probably the most accurate information you're going to get right now. Now, there is a way in Highlevel. I know that they have some, like, if you go over here to marketing and you go to emails, you can go to, like, they have this engagement summary, and you can, like, here's all campaigns. You can also just make this workflow campaigns, but I don't know how accurate this is. This is just dummy data that you're seeing right here, but I'm not really sure how accurate this is with the workflows in Smart Directory, because it runs through the app. So you can check this and see if you get info, but I think you're better off going into the automation and looking at each individual email. Everybody with me there? Reports has email deets too. So if you go over here to reporting, so you can click a report, make a report. Is that what you're talking about, Dorn? That's what you're talking about? So you can go and look in here. So new report. They got libraries, all that stuff, right? Okay. Let me get back to where I was going. Okay. So get your numbers. So when you drop a batch in, and again, I recommend 100, maybe 200 at most to test. So you drop a batch in, and then you're going to go look at your numbers. Like you're going to see, you'll be able to see first in your conversations tab, you'll be able to see if anyone replied, right? And you'll be able to look at those things here. But get your numbers down first. So sent 200 emails, email number 1 got this, email number 2 got this, email number 3 got this, email number 4. Map out every one, right? Now, those numbers will tell you what you need to fix, okay? So for example, if you send 200 emails and no one opens your email, well, there are 2 things that could be the problem. One, it could be the list. Well, I guess 3. There's list, deliverability, or your subject line. Those are the 3 things that you would want to look at, right? So I sent 200 emails. Nobody even opened a single email. Well, what did the list look like? Like, what do these 200 people look like? Are they the ideal targets for this message? You know, did I send 200 emails to people that actually don't own these businesses? Am I pretty confident that these 200 people are the business owners of the businesses? Then you could look at your deliverability. Well, did everything get delivered? Yes, it got delivered. Was it in spam? You know, those kinds of things. And then third, you would go, well, that subject line was a bomb. So the next batch I put through, I'd want to try a new subject line. So you want to fix each problem along the way in order before you move to the next problem. So if no one is opening your emails, there's no reason to work on optimizing the copy inside the email because they're not opening it yet, right? So your first step is to just get someone to open your freaking email. Okay? That's your first step. Forget everything else. You send 200 and nobody opens it, your whole focus should be like, well, what the hell do I have to do to get them to open my email? We're going to try a different subject line. Maybe I'm going to try a different list. Can I resend to this list with a different subject line and see if that works, right? But we're just trying to get an open at that point. Now, the email itself may be great, but again, if nobody opens it, they never see it. So you rewrite the subject line, you test again, you look at those things. Now, if people open the email, but they don't reply, then your message inside isn't connecting. Maybe it's too long. Maybe it sounds robotic, right? Maybe the offer isn't clear. I'm going to go a little bit later over some of the common mistakes I see, because I know in the Smart Directory AI knowledge base, we recommend that you customize your emails, that you don't send templates. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I'll show you some common mistakes I see people make that affects all this. So if that's the case, you're opening, but they're not replying or whatever, you tighten the copy, you simplify your message, you test another batch. If people reply, but they show little interest, the offer may be weak or the list may not be that great. So maybe it's not clear in your email why they should care. So you have to adjust the angle and explain the value better, right? If nobody opens and nobody replies, you might have a list problem, like I mentioned earlier, meaning you're simply emailing the wrong people. Maybe it's the wrong niche, the wrong market, the wrong audience. And no amount of AI optimization or copywriting improvements will fix that. So this is how real marketers improve campaigns. And this is how you should be doing it. Not by searching for a magical AI prompt, but by running small tests and improving based on data. You got to get in and just get your hands dirty. You will learn more doing that than you ever will from taking a copywriting course or anything else. Plus, you will be surprised at how much information you hear from the so-called gurus that just doesn't add up with what you're seeing in actual execution. Like, that was one of the whole reasons Nick and I started Offline Sharks, because we were actually executing, and what the gurus that we were listening to were saying and what we were seeing when we executed were different. And we were like, oh my God, the reason it's different is because they're not even doing this. So that's why we started a community where we wanted a place with executors, right? So now, the only goal of your prospecting outreach is to start a conversation, right? So this is very basic copywriting 101 stuff. For those of you that maybe don't know direct response copywriting, there's some very simple rules. I'll give you a simple formula you can follow later in the training. But like when it comes to email specifically, the only goal of your subject line is to get the person to open the email. If you're trying to sell your product in the subject line, it's probably not working. So remember, the only goal of the subject line is to get the person to open the email. The goal of the first line of the email. Anybody know what the goal of the first line of the email is? Anybody know what the goal of the first line of the email is? I'm going to look at some of these comments while you guys are putting that in. Somebody says, I want to know the edits we need to make based on Go Highlevel's program changes. I don't know what you mean there. Yeah, to read the second line, TN1, P231, you got it. Yeah, the goal of the first line of the email is to get them to read the second line, to get them to read the third line, and then hopefully to get them to see your offer. Now, the goal of the email itself can change. Like in Smart Directory AI, so we have a automation that we run everyone through first called the free listing outreach automation. Okay? Each email in this automation has a different goal. Email number 1, which we call the warm-up email. Everybody's always saying, like, how do I get better deliverability? What's a hack to get my emails delivered? Like, there's no hack. You got to write emails that people open and reply to. Those are like the two biggest indicators to email service providers that you are legitimate. So this first email is designed just to get people to open and reply. Like, there's no links they can click or anything like that in here because we're trying to get them to reply so our deliverability score and all that stuff goes up. So the goal of this email is to get a reply. Now, the goal of these others emails is to click a link and claim their business and different things like that. But you don't want to try to do everything in the email, I guess is the point I'm making with this. Like, if the subject line is the goal is to get them to open the email, the first line is to get them to read the second, your email starts a conversation. It just starts a conversation. You don't try to sell them in this first email. You don't try to give them all the details of your amazing program and why it's great for them. Like, we're just trying to initiate the conversation so that we can talk to them more. I was just listening to something the other day that said it takes like 21 actual touches before someone will even pay attention to what you're sending them. So think about that. If you're expecting to just drop a bunch of leads in any type of marketing automation and responses are just going to come flooding in, like, that's probably wishful thinking, because it takes 21 touches for anybody to even start to pay attention to you. So that means follow-up and other things like that, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So, but remember, the goal here is just to get a reply. Let's just get a conversation going. Before we start worrying about perfect emails, perfect offers, perfect funnels, we need to get crystal clear on what we're actually trying to accomplish, because most people get this completely wrong. The goal is not to sell premium listings. The goal is not to sell your high-ticket offers in your first conversation, right? The goal is not to convince someone to buy anything immediately. If that's what you're thinking, stop it, right? Those things can happen, and they can happen, and they'll happen later. But right now, the only thing that matters is start a conversation. So if someone replies, even if they just say, hey, tell me more, or what's this about, or how does it work, or oh, hey, that's the wrong info, this is the right info, you have already won the hardest part of the battle. You have started the conversation. They've gone from a cold contact to an actual human conversation, okay? And that is the hardest part of the entire process. Once someone replies, you can actually talk to them and you can build that relationship. You can answer questions, you can offer to help them with their listing, you can build trust, and you can eventually guide them toward claiming their listing or upgrading. But none of that happens until someone replies, right? So every email you send should be designed around one simple outcome: get a reply. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier, why email templates suck and why we give them to you anyway, okay? Because you do have a lot of email templates that come preloaded with Smart Directory AI. Yeah, it used to be 7 touches, not anymore. Those golden days are gone. 21 touches, right? So I have to make kind of an honest admission, right? This is probably not what you wanted to hear, right? Especially since we give you all the templates in Smart Directory AI. But no template is ever going to be good enough to sound like it's coming from you, or to be for your specific market or prospects and your voice about your offer. The templates we give you, they're just simply a starting point, okay? They exist so you can start sending emails instead of staring at a blank screen trying to write the perfect message. But they are intentionally simple. Intentionally simple. Because only you know your niche, your market, your prospects, and how you naturally talk. So if you copy the templates exactly as they are and just start blasting them out, maybe they'll work, maybe you'll get some responses, but it's probably not going to be what you're looking for, right? They're probably just going to get ignored because they're pretty vanilla. The real power happens when you start customizing them based on what you're learning from your campaigns and what is going on in your local area and with your directory site. And this is where AI becomes incredibly helpful, right? So I'm going to give you some tips on how to use AI to improve your emails. And it does it not because it magically writes the emails, right? It does it because we're going to give it some data and some things, and then it's going to give us some information back, all right? So after you send the first email, here's what you do. You look at the numbers, right? And then you put in a prompt like this. So your prompt could say, I sent 100 emails to local business owners asking them to confirm their listing information in my community directory. My open rate is 12% and my reply rate is low. Please generate 5 stronger subject line variations that feel conversational and curiosity driven. And it'll do that. Give it the subject line that you sent originally, right? Or you could give it a prompt like this. Rewrite this email so it sounds more human, shorter, and easier to reply to. The goal is to get a simple yes or no response. And then let it spit you out some things that you could test. Or you could do a prompt like this. Give me 3 alternative angles for this outreach email, 1 curiosity-based, 1 problem-focused, and 1 conversational. You don't even really have to know what those things are. Just tell it to do it, and it'll spit them out, right? Now, you're not asking for AI magic here. You're asking it to help you iterate faster. And when you combine that with the feedback loop we talked about earlier, send, measure, improve, repeat, then your campaigns will just start getting better and better and better. Now, here's the 100 email rule. So again, this is one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when running outreach campaigns is quitting too early. So they send 20 emails, maybe 30, nobody replies. They assume the strategy doesn't work. or they just send a bunch of emails that doesn't work and they're like, I sent all these emails and no responses. This doesn't work, right? So you need data, but if you send 100 emails and you get 20 opens and 3 replies, that already tells you something important. Now you've got real numbers to improve from. So I recommend smaller batches, especially to start as you're dialing all this stuff in, right? Maybe your subject line needs work. Maybe the email needs to be shorter. Maybe the angle needs changing. But you can't learn anything if you stop before you've even collected enough feedback. So don't send too few, don't send too many. And here's another important rule. I just talked about this. The sending instead of 1,000, right? 50, 100, maybe 200 at most. Then looked at the numbers. This is the send, measure, improve. Okay, is everybody with me so far? Now I am going to open up to Q&A here in a little bit, and we'll do that. Jason Christian, it is in the snapshot and the workflow already. It's in there. If you go into Smart Directory AI Workflows, you go to the free listing outreach. It is the first email in the sequence right here. It's also its own email template called Email Warmup. Okay. All right. So I want to talk about some common mistakes that I see all the time, and then I will open up and we'll do some Q&A. You guys can ask me questions, and I'll help you out here. So I see a lot of people customize their emails. Oh, wait, which one is this? Okay, that's just I was like, wait, did I miss something? But I didn't. Okay, so here's mistake number 1. Talking about yourself instead of them. This is a biggie. And this, again, is something that, like, ChatGPT will do this. So ChatGPT will do this, and if you don't recognize that this isn't good copywriting, you'll be stuck. So this is another place where AI doesn't really know what it's doing, even though it looks like it knows what it's doing, if that makes sense. Because the email may sound great, but the structure is not going to be good. So this mistake is talking about yourself instead of them. So you go in, you use AI to customize your email, and your email starts out something like this. Hey, I just started this local directory site called Vegas Thrive, and my goal here is I just really wanted to do something that was great for the community. And like that sounds like that maybe sounds like, well, that's interesting, but it's only interesting to you. The person getting your email doesn't give a crap. They are only interested in what's in it for them. So whenever you start an email, it should be all about them and what they're going to get. That's why I recommend saying something like, hey, I'm sending you this email because your business is listed on Vegas Thrive Directory, on VegasThriveDirectory.com, and I just want to make sure I have all the information correct. Just cutting to the chase. Here's all the business information. Just reply yes or no. Then after that, you can say, let me tell you what this is about. This is what I'm doing. Like, you can talk about yourself at the end, but in the beginning, keep it focused on them and what's in it for them, not anything about you. No one cares about you, what you're doing, any of that stuff. They just want to know what's in it for them. So, hey, you've got this listing. This could result in more exposure, but only if your information's correct. Is this the correct info, right? So I see all the time people do things like this. I built this amazing directory. We're helping local businesses get exposure. We drive traffic, and we're doing all these great things. But the business owner's just thinking, like, why should I care? What are you trying to sell me? Usually is what they think there, right? So remember, nobody cares about you. They don't care about your directory. They don't care about your marketing system. They don't care about the software you're using. They only care about one thing: what is in it for them, right? What is in it for them? So your emails and any marketing message should always start with focusing on their business, not yours, right? So for example, hey, I noticed your business is listed on our local directory, and I just want to make sure customers are seeing the correct phone number and address. Or, hey, we have your directory listed we have your business listed in our local directory, but I just realized we don't have your website URL, so nobody can actually find your website. Can you shoot that over to me? Right? Oh, heck. I'm on this listing and my website's not there? Crap, better get that to the guy or the lady, right? Mistake number 2, asking instead of telling. This is a big one. I see people in their emails say something like, I'm building this local directory. Is this would you like to be on it? Can you verify this information so I can add you? Or especially when people make calls, like they're like, I'm sending emails and I'm calling, but nobody's saying yes. And every time I drill down, the problem is always 100%. They are asking the person if they want to be on the directory instead of telling them that they're already there. Everybody sees the difference of that, right? If I call you up and I say, hey, I'm Tom, I started this local directory, Vegas Thrive, your business has a listing. Do you mind if I put you on there? Can I verify your information so I can get your listing live? Like, what are people going to say? No. How much does this cost? Even if you say it's free, they'll say no, right? I always think about the people at the mall that clean your shoes, right? They clean your shoes for free. Everyone should be lined up to get a free shoe cleaning. Yet no one, or very rarely, is there a line. Usually there's only one person over there, and it's a bunch of people just walking by saying, no, thank you. No, thank you. Like, I mean, if free shoe cleaning is valuable, why aren't all those people saying yes? Because people are just wired to say no to stuff like that. They think there's a catch, even though they don't know if there's a catch. They know instinctively that you're trying to sell them something, the shoe cleaning kit, and they don't want to go through the pressure of having to tell you no. And so you say, I want a free shoe cleaning? Nope, right? Same thing with this stuff. Even though you know it's valuable, the client, even if they think it's valuable and you call up and say, hey, want a free listing on my directory? They might just say no because that's just how people are wired. So don't ask, just tell them, right? Just tell them. Every time you call up, it should be, hey, I'm calling you because you already have a live listing and something isn't right. I just want to make sure we have the right information. And if you're calling up and you're getting gatekeepers, same thing, right? When you call up and a gatekeeper answers, you say, hey, I'm calling because your business has a listing on this directory site, but I noticed we're missing the website. I'm not sure if we even have the correct address. Is the owner available so I can verify all that information directly with them? Remember, we're not calling to sell them something. We're just calling to verify information. It's just a different kind of tone and delivery, right? If you call up somebody and you say, yes, I'd like to speak to the owner, and they say, well, what is this? Like, you're already pushing against a brick wall, right? The gatekeeper's job is to keep you from talking to the owner unless it's really important. So if you call up and you're like, can I speak to the owner right out of the gate? They're going to be like, no. But if you call up and you say, hey, I've got this local community, you got this local community directory, the business is already listed on there. I just need to verify we have all the right contact information. I notice I don't have the website. Can you give me that? Okay, there's the website. Awesome. And is this the right address, phone number, and everything like that? Fantastic. By the way, I did notice that there was a problem with your main website. Who would be the best person to talk about that with? The owner, or can you give me their number? You see what I'm saying? Like, we're going at it in a backdoor kind of way. Everybody with me here? Okay. Asking instead of telling. Mistake number 3, focusing on a huge list instead of the right list. This is another mistake I see all the time. It has nothing to do with the email itself, the messages you're sending, or anything like that, but it's the list. It is really important to understand that the list you're sending your emails to is responsible for about 80% of your results. So if that list is a high quality list, meaning like if you have a list of 100 businesses, but it's 100 businesses that you like physically saw when you were out and about, or businesses that you've dealt with, and you're like, man, I know they're like locally owned. I know they need help. Like, I looked at their website. It's crappy. They don't have a chat bot. Like, I know they're nice people. I love that business. I know people like it. Like, real businesses that could turn into real clients. I would much rather have a list of 100 of those than 1,000 scraped business leads, right? I see people think that if I just get enough leads, again, if I have a list of 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, I can't fail. Yes, you can. You can have a list of 10,000 really shitty leads, and nothing you do will ever make them better. So stop worrying about the quantity of your list and start really focusing on building a quality list. I don't know if some of you remember this, but not too long ago, I did a live training where I just looked, like the day before I did the training, I was driving around my neighborhood. I saw 9 businesses as I was driving around, and I just made a note of them. Like there was a cleaning service, a car place, something else. I dropped them into the free listing outreach. I hadn't edited any of the emails. Everything was generic. I wasn't even using a custom sending domain, and I got like 3 responses from those 9 businesses. One of them, like, I'm doing business with. So, like, you don't have to have a big list to get a client, right? In fact, I think you're better off having quality small lists and getting clients that way. All right, so I got some tips in the cheat sheet for you on this as well. And then I wanted to leave you guys with this, and then we're going to do some questions. This is a simple formula for writing better copy all around. So it's an old formula. It's called AIDA. It stands for attention, interest, desire, action. So whenever you're looking at an email message or something that you want to send out to get a result, this is the structure that you want. The first thing you should be trying to do is get attention. And then you want to stir their interest, create desire in what you're offering, and then tell them what action to take. So in the course of our email, how would we get attention? We could say, hey, your listing is live on the site, but I notice your website isn't here, so people can't actually find your website. A business owner, that gets their attention and their interest, right? Because they're like, oh, crap, if my listing is live, I want my website on there. And now they're like, how do I get my website on there? You built up some desire. If this listing is already live, I want my website to be on there. And then you say, all you need to do is shoot me your website URL and I'll add it to your listing ASAP. Like, that's a great email, right? Hey, business owner, your business is listed on this site. Your business is listed on the site, but your website URL is missing. If you just reply to this email with that, I'll get it added so when people find your listing, they can actually get to your website. Best Tom. That probably gets some killer responses. So I've got some things in here and some examples of this so that you can use this as a point. So this is the cheat sheet. Again, if you want this, just like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I'll shoot it over. Or if you're in the school group, just go to smartdirectory.ai/group, join the group. You'll find it in the pinned coaching post there. Okay, we are going to open up for some Q&A and pop in your questions, and I'm going to tell them. Dorn said the 90s called and want your website back. That's a great one. I liked the example you had in the challenge thing you did, Dorn, where you saw that the guy had pirate something in, and you always do your pirate thing, so you're like from one pirate to another. Those are the little nuggets that really get attention, right? Really get attention. Somebody said, how do we update to the new snapshot? There's actually a help document. So if you go into, let me see if I can get this over here. If you go into the knowledge base and you put in update, updating your snapshot right here, there's actually a step-by-step guide that will show you exactly how to do it without losing any changes you made. If you haven't made any edits or customizations to your current snapshot, you can just install the new one. But if you've made any updates or changes, you want to be careful because you can overwrite things. You don't want to have to start all that stuff over again. Okay. What is our next question here? Let me look. Charles says, I changed the wording because the website URL is usually already on there. Charles, do you mean the the website URL in the template, in the first template. Jason says golden nuggets. Frank says, send it over. Jason, reach out to support. Maybe they can figure out why that one's not getting loaded. Where did you not have it? It wasn't in the workflow, or you couldn't find the template? Because what do you mean by I don't have that email on the listing? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can just, delete that if you want. All right, if you have any questions for me, pop them in there. Now is your chance. You have me live. I will answer any questions you have. While you guys are doing that, let me make sure, is there anything else I wanted to cover today? Let me take a look. Oh, we need to do some wins. Hold on. Let me go in here. Oh, let me download this. Now I'm going to come back and look for some questions. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Oh, no, I think that's the only... if you already manually changed it, Jason, then you should be good to go. That was really the only update in that. Somebody says, what do you think of LeadScrape? I've never used LeadScrape. I don't know what that is. So look, if you have a good lead scraping tool that gives you the information you want, use it. Like there's so many different things out there. You might as well do something like that. Dorn says it's decent. Tom, is the March pricing call posted on YouTube? No. So, the March pricing call was a special bonus that I did for active Smart Directory AI users. So if you're an active user, you should have gotten an email with a link to access that private training. If you didn't, you had to be an active user by the end of February. So as long as you're an active user by February 28th, you get access to that. So if that is you and you don't have access, reach out to support and they'll get you the link so you can do that. Somebody says, I'm sorry, this is not email. Well, that's okay. Let's answer this. I have an irate client due to issues with the Go Highlevel AI voice chat. Where should we go for how to train the AI after it's been deployed? Are there videos in SDAI or Go Highlevel? Okay, so you need to... I can help you if I know a little more specific. So I'm sure Go Highlevel probably has videos on this, but let me share my screen and I will show you where you can go. And then we are going to, let me reload this. So I think I have the AI agents here. Are you talking about the voice AI agent? So if you want to train it, give it more information, there's a couple of different places you could do that. One is the knowledge base that you have associated with the agent. So like you can go into the knowledge base. So every agent, so let me start here. Every agent should have a knowledge base associated with it. And that will be in your agent goals. So you can see where it says select knowledge base. This one is using the directory info knowledge base. So anything that you add to this knowledge base, the AI agent will be able to access and use. So let's say that a client says, well, that question's not right. This is the exact answer I want to that question. Well, you can go into this knowledge base and you can add things by adding source, and you can see I can add frequently add questions. So you type the question and you type in the exact answer and you click save. And now if the agent gets that question, it will give that answer. Does that make sense? So you can add the info here. You can also add all these other things. You can have it crawl a website. You can add tables. You can do rich text. You can upload files like PDFs, Word docs, different things like that. And it will have access to those things so that you can train it. So you can train it by updating the knowledge base. So that's one place. That's one thing you can do. The other place where you would go to optimize a voice AI agent is the prompt itself. So when you go into the AI agent and we go into agent goals, there's this prompt that's right here. Roles, objectives, handling caller, right? You can make this bigger. So you could go in and add things to this prompt that will change the behavior of the agent. So I guess the first thing would be I'd identify, why is your client irate? Is it something in the prompt, or is it the way it answered something? And then those were the two places that you would go in and edit that. Does that make sense? Does that help? They said, yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right, let me, I'm going to go through some, let me pull up the wins. And then this has been a great call. This is awesome. I'm going to pull up some wins. We always love to celebrate the wins in our community. So I'm going to hide this sidebar, and we are going to do that right now. Then I'll take some last minute questions. So first up, Brandon, his directory is live, TampaLocalListings.com. I checked it out. Looks great, Brandon. Awesome, awesome work. Next up, Lakeisha. She said, thanks to the team for getting my leads to me so quickly. She received 158, and my site looks full and is ready to start prospecting. Awesome, Lakeisha. Great. Good work to the Smart Directory AI team there. Michael said, finally, my virtual town mall is up and taking shape. He's got the branding down. He put the list there. So for those of you that are looking for examples of SDA sites, quite a few people sharing them there. Here, let me move this. How did that go? It keeps wanting to put this up in the chat. Okay, there we go. There we go. Is that better? Do I look a little better? I hope. Okay. Oh, here. Every time. Every time. Let me move it down in the corner. There we go. Okay. That makes me a little better. Okay. Awesome work, Michael. Sam said, thanks to the support team for helping with the glitch. No idea why. Sam actually shared a couple of great posts in the group this week. One about her email process. And then she also shared what she's doing with Google Business Profile Management. And her husband has a service business, so she runs that as well. So anyway, this is a great little post about what she's doing. Pay attention to the things she's posted. They've been really great stuff so far. And congratulations to Antoinette. Her SDA site is live, thebizlinklocal.com. Again, a link so you can go check it out. And then Meg got her new directory launched as well. She's running them through, and Meg has been on it. I've been getting lots of questions from her. I love it. I love seeing her take action. Tammy Duran posted this, I think, just yesterday. She said, this is the best lead generation ever. I've been recruiting for quite a while, and I do outreach on a daily basis. I seriously believe starting with the directory is the best option for lead generation. It doesn't feel salesy or shady. It makes starting the conversation so much easier. And thanks, Tom, for such a great tool. You're welcome, Tammy. And that was my experience with this. That's why I've been so pumped about this directory method ever since I first started using it way back in 2012. Can you believe that? 2012, I started using a version of this. Smart Directory AI is the culmination of all that. And so super excited about that. Big shout out to Dorn. Got some small recurring wins. Cairo, $49 a month. Google Business Profile Management. A free adjustment. Oh, a free adjustment. That's awesome. And then is that... Oh, and that's it. So congratulations to everybody that shared their live sites, getting all their stuff out there. I love it. Excited to see all that. All right, let me pop in and see if there are any last minute questions here. Tim. So Tim, thank you for bringing this up, Tim. So I do have an announcement about the people directory. We've run into some technical issues. we have to get the technical issues resolved first. So we had to make a tough decision. We had to temporarily put the people directory on pause while we get this technical stuff worked out. We will come back to finishing it, but we had to get this stuff sorted first. It would have been a nightmare if we didn't. So I know this sucks. I was super bummed about it because I'm like, I was excited for this, and we're still going to get it out there, but we got to get some of the foundation things in line so that is the best it can be. Now, there are some exciting updates that are already live inside of your Smart Directory AI sites that I'll be making a video on soon. I'm just waiting for the last things. We have a new dashboard layout. I just want to get that. But I will show you guys one update so that you might want to go check this out in your site. So I'm going to go to the Smart Directory AI dashboard, and this is a branding thing. So if I preview this site, you'll see here's the home page, right? And all of this, the hero image, this headline, this search bar, like you can change this hero image, but there wasn't much you could do to this other than that. Well, we have changed that. So if you go to branding and you go to content and you scroll down, you will now see this whole new section here with heading size, subheading size, and search bar size, and hero image height. So right now, this image is 500 pixels. So watch this. I'm going to pop this up to the max, 700 pixels. I'm going to change the heading side to 72. And let's see, I'm going to change the subheading side. Let's do this to like 32. So that's going to change this heading right here where it says Smart Directory AI. The subheading is where it says Live Demo. And then the size of the search bar, I'm going to pop that up to extra large. All right, I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to click Update. And now I want you to show you how this changes the look of your homepage. Let me refresh. So now you can see my heading image is bigger. My headline is bigger. All of this stuff is bigger, right? I actually did this on Vegas Thrive earlier today. So let me go on here. You'll see it with an actual image. So making this look, I think, a lot better, a lot more modern. And we got more things coming to this as well. So there's one little update that I will tease you with. Oh, you're not looking at my screen, are you? Oh, boy. Okay, here. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me do this from here. Hold on. Let me fix this. Hold on. Let me update this. This way I can show you exactly what all this looks like. Well, here we go. All right, here's my screen. So if you go to the Smart Directory AI dashboard, you go to branding, go to content. If you scroll down here, you will see there's a new thing, hero image height. So the max height of your hero image is 500 pixels, but now you can make it 700 pixels. This hero title, hero subtitle, we can adjust these right here. So I'm going to make this 72. I'm going to make my subheading 32. And then I can change the search bar size. Then I can go down here and click Update. And now when I go to preview my site, you're going to see search bar bigger, all these headlines bigger, everything looking much, much bigger, right? And so if you go to, I did this on Vegas Thrive earlier. You see this with a real picture. So you can see how this just has a lot more pop and image size, right? Okay. All right. Now I showed you that. There we go. Okay, look, I just wanted to say thanks again for taking time out of your Wednesday to hop on the live coaching call. Again, I'm going to be doing these calls the next few weeks. The coaching call will be on Wednesday because I have a lot of travel volleyball tournaments for my daughter over the weekends, and they start on Fridays. So we're going to be doing these calls on Wednesdays. So mark your calendar. I think we've updated it in the school group calendar as well. Again, if you want the cheat sheet, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll send you over a link so you can get that. Or you can just join the school group, smartdirectory.ai/group. You can get the link in there as well. This has been a great call. If you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm in the school group multiple times a day, answering questions, making videos for people with responses. I know a lot of you send me DMs. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as possible. One thing I do want to say, just so you guys know, because I am pretty available, I do try to make myself very available for you, the community, the users. Here's one thing that I'm not good at. I am not a techie person, so I have no idea how to fix tech support issues. Like, if it's something that's known, or if it's like a question about something, like I can tell you where to go to get the answer, or some very simple things, but like I cannot like diagnose why your DNS isn't working, or I can't like help you get something done faster. I'm just not a techie person. That's what the support team is for. That's their expertise. So if you have a tech issue, please always submit a ticket first, then reach out to me. Because 99% of the time, if you just direct message me, I'm going to tell you to submit a ticket. So please, like, just go ahead and do that first. Submit a ticket, then ask me your question. And if I can give you a quick answer, I will. But at least your ticket's logged. Things are getting started and it's going. And by the way, please make sure you're submitting tickets. That's what creates the number and gives us, all that ways to track them and make sure you're getting taken care of. Like, don't just try to send an email. Actually submit a ticket. I know it's a pain. Nobody wants to do it, but that's the fastest way to get support. And then sometimes if I'm busy and I can't get to my messages to check them, you're not just sitting there waiting. At least support is working on your issue. And then if I can get back and answer it there as well. So please, if you're going to DM me, just submit a ticket first, then message me your question and I'll do it. Strategy questions, anything like that, like all that stuff I can answer night and day. You don't need to, you can just message me those. But if it's something technical or about a feature or things like that, again, that's what I got the team for, and that's what they do. So, I can't really help fix any of that stuff or make that process go any faster. Right? We have a lot of users. We have a hard-working support team. They do a great job. So, just trust the process, put the ticket in, and we can go from there. All right, that's it for today. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you guys all had a safe St. Patrick's Day. I hope you have a great weekend this weekend. I will see you back here next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, same time. All different content. I'll still take your questions and all that stuff as well. So until